the 5 to 11C video, I mean, you did a great job. You basically told the people what they wanted to hear, right? This is what's going on. The 5C is a conservative estimate. I mean, just start from there. I mean, that's the trajectory that we're going towards. Science, physics, right? Whatever you want to say. Like that's happening. Okay. In the 2100, right? We're going beyond that, but right now 2100 is the magical. Yeah, okay. So here we
It's
go.
actually one of the few videos where if I wasn't just going through a peer-reviewed article where we can all read it together. That's like one of the few articles where I actually prepared notes ahead of time instead of just being totally off the cuff. Because if I don't write this down, I'm gonna forget something. I probably still forgot something.
No, I thought it went well. Let me see. It's just okay. The lag effect was interesting. The ocean, the heat in the ocean. Oh God, I wanted to talk about. So here we go. We're at 1.65 from 1750 as the baseline. So there's so much to talk about. I mean, the baseline issue, we can start there, right? Like, what is this 1.5? You talked about 1750, right? It's rooted in history, industrialization, the Industrial Revolution. We start emitting greenhouse gases into the air. We're really at 1.65 if you use that, how much we've warmed. And I remember thinking, okay, well, 1.5, right? That's out the damn window. So here we are.
That's been blown past. Yeah.
Let's just say we are at 1.65. I mean, that's the baseline, right? I mean, that's what we're using. That's more accurate representation.
Well, see, here's the problem. They started with the 1750, okay, and that's when the Industrial Revolution kind of started. 1850 is when it really ramped up all those factories in the UK. All those row housing, all covered in soot and shit like that. Right. Burning the coal. So my argument is that if you're going to do comparisons, don't change the methodology. Changing the methodology is just shit science.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even NOAA puts out what's called an AGGI, an annual greenhouse gas index. And you know what they use for their baseline?
Probably not. Is it 1750?
It's 1750. All their analyses are based on 1750 levels.
Okay.
The IPCC said, no, 1850, maybe make it late 1800. How about 1910? You see, we keep warming to 1.2 because they keep moving a bloody thing. But that's why I made that point that from like 71 to present, we've warmed the planet 0.8 C. So if you go back to 1750, okay, so it's from 1750 to 1971, we've warmed the planet 0.8 C. And now in the last 50 years, we've warmed the planet an additional 0.8 degrees. So 0.8 and 0.8 is 1.6.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I know. I'm just saying. So it took a long. It basically took 221 years to do the first 0.8 C increase, and then in 1/4 the time, we double the warming. If that isn't exponentiation, then I don't understand exponential functions.
And I feel like, yeah, that's exactly what that is. You're doubling. I mean, it's really mind-blowing again. Yeah, holy shit, we're really accelerating, and no wonder it kind of just makes sense. We're seeing this so rapid changes, and we're fooling ourselves now thinking, the 1995 issue, right? The tipping point dimension, and just thinking of that, like our actions, if we actually do them, right, is the point. If we actually stop, it doesn't matter anymore, right? Like we are past this threshold. We have, but
and not to like toot my own horn here.
Go
ahead. the discussion of tipping points constantly comes up, and when will we go? It's always like, when will we? When in the future. So far that I can tell, I'm the only one who has identified 1995 as the tipping point for the planet. At least that's my assessment. And I'm looking strictly at the ocean data. I grant you that. But it's right there. I mean, I showed it to you in the graph. It's like before 95, the ocean was still, the amount of heat it was absorbing was below the 81 to 2010 baseline. And you can see it was getting less and less. It was working up to it. But then when you look at it past 95, it's really increasing rapidly. And this is telling me that the oceans are no longer sequestering heat to depth, and that this heat is staying in the upper levels. It's diffusing back to the atmosphere, adding to the warming, and with it the CO2 to increase the CO2 levels. Okay. I mean, if you go back to my original ocean heat content video, I did the graph where they broke it down to 500-meter layers, 0 to 5, 5 to 1,000, 1,000 to 1,500, and so on. And I showed the heat accumulation in each of those layers there. Well, now it's all staying in the upper levels there and just waiting to diffuse. And I really like that graphic with the 3D and the heat blob in the North Pacific. That to me was just like, there it is, folks. That's how much energy is just waiting to kind of go
Yeah.
back to the atmosphere. Hey, humans, there you go.
Oh my God. Yeah, the 93% of greenhouse gases have been absorbed by the ocean, and now they're outgassing. We're so fucked. We're so fucked. I mean, okay.
What's the old saying? Stick your head between your legs, kiss your ass goodbye. But anyway,
yeah. I mean, this is where we're at.
Some of us can't even bend over that far. That's besides the point. But